Hello, friends. My name is Mia, and I'm here to tell you the story of how I ruined my mother-in-law's life. Well, Rita, my mother-in-law, ruined her own life, but she may think that I am responsible for it. If she hadn't tried to make her son, Nigel, divorce me, she would have avoided getting divorced herself. So anyway, here is what happened and how I got rid of Rita's toxic presence from my life. Rita absolutely hated me. Why? No reason as such. She hated every woman her son Nigel dated. I could tell that she had an extremely unhealthy relationship with Nigel and always thought that women were out to trap her son and take him away from her. Her husband, my father-in-law, Luke, was not like her. He was a sweet man who still has an excellent relationship with me. He considers me his daughter, which is why I was super pissed when I discovered Rita's big betrayal. Now, let me just tell you what Rita tried to do when Nigel announced our engagement. She tried to say that I was a cheater and was sleeping with my best friend. It was bizarre, and she had no proof. It was simply based on her suspicions. Look, me and my male best friend have been super close since childhood. We have a great bond, but we don't cross boundaries that our spouses have set for us. In fact, we do frequent double dates and even went on trips together. Nigel never had a problem and knew that I was loyal. Well, Rita didn't think so. She said, "A man and a woman cannot be that close, Nigel. There has to be something fishy going on. I can bet all my money that she is cheating on you." Mom, you are being ridiculous. Mia and her best friend are just that, best friends. There is no cheating going on. She rarely meets with him alone. I trust my fiancé completely. You are naive, Nigel. Mia is trapping you because you have a good income and can take care of her. One of these days you might find yourself baby-trapped by this cheater. I don't know what you're talking about, Rita. None of that will happen. I love your son, and my best friend is just my best friend. Nothing is going on between us. You are being insulting when you say those things. I know you are lying, Mia. Don't try that innocent act with me. I know girls like you very well. Of course, Rita knew girls like that. She was one of them. But that wouldn't be discovered until later. Nigel didn't believe her ridiculous lies, and we got married anyway. She tried to tell everyone that he was marrying a cheater. There was some misunderstanding I had with a few family members, but when Nigel told them the truth, they were rightfully pissed at Rita and apologized to me. Nigel also confronted Rita and yelled at her along with his father. Rita wasn't remorseful at all, but she promised to behave from then on. Guys, I really thought that Rita would change and end her stupid antics, but she didn't. What she did the next time was even worse. The beginning of Rita's end started when I got pregnant with our first child. It was a boy and everyone was happy for us. Nigel was super excited to be a father and Luke was excited to be a grandfather. The only one who wasn't excited at all was my mother-in-law, Rita. She started her Mia is cheating craziness and went as far as to say that the child was not Nigel's. We were all pissed, and Nigel mostly kept me out of the drama so that I don't stress out too much. Now, here comes the fun part. As soon as my son was born, Rita saw him and said, "This child can't be my son's. He looks nothing like what Nigel looked when he was a baby. This cannot be your son, Nigel." Mom, what is wrong with you? This is my son. Not all babies look exactly like the baby version of their dads. Or, Mom, I didn't look like my dad's baby version either. You are being ridiculous. Nigel, you need to open your eyes. This child is too white to be yours. We are all too tan to have this skin. What the hell are you talking about, Rita? You are being ridiculous. The baby had a lighter skin tone because I am very fair. Plus, baby's skin color can get darker once they start to grow. At least have some logic when you try to accuse me. We had a long and big fight with Rita about this issue. Ultimately, Nigel kicked her out of the hospital and was mad at her. Well, Rita went out and immediately started to tell everyone what she saw and that she was sure the child wasn't Nigel's. Some people were having doubts since we didn't want the baby around everyone before he was a month old. There was a lot of pressure from Rita and people's gossip that was bothering us. Ultimately, I succumbed and agreed to get a DNA test done. Nigel did try to shut me down. He said, "Mia, you don't have to agree to this. I trust you completely. I know that our son is mine. Mom can go kick rocks." Nigel, please, I'm tired of hearing Rita call me names and people assume things about me. This drama has been going on for too long. I have nothing to hide, so I might just as well get over this. Mia, Nigel, I think I need to tell you guys something. What's up, Dad? I don't know how to say this, but Nigel, you might not be my biological son. Luke was at our house when we were having this conversation. He suddenly turned serious when he said this. We noticed that he had been acting a little off for some time, so we were immediately alert, but we never expected him to say this. We were shocked, but Nigel was more than me. He said, "Dad, what are you talking about?" "Look, I went to a doctor recently and some things he said made me doubt that I am your biological father." "Are you serious right now?" "Oh my God, are you sure there is a possibility?" "There is a big possibility, Nigel, and I think it's time we found out for sure. Mia, keep this a secret from Rita. Let's get me and Nigel tested as well. I want to confront her when the results are out. She is planning to host a family dinner when the DNA reports of Nigel and my grandson arrive." Honestly, I didn't know what to say. I agreed since we all thought this was a good plan. I took the responsibility since Nigel and Luke were way too stressed to manage this. The DNA test was done, and as promised, Rita threw a family dinner to announce the results in front of everyone. She really wanted to humiliate me, but in her excitement, she picked up the wrong envelope before announcing the results. Nigel, me, and Luke noticed, and it didn't say anything. Imagine our faces when Rita screamed with joy and said, "I was right! They are not a match. My son is not the father of Mia's son. Mia is a cheater." Rita was jumping up and down with joy when the results showed that the people who tested were not a match. This essentially said that there was no freaking connection between the two people who got tested. Rita was extremely delighted by the results because she thought that my husband wasn't my son's father. She saw it as an opportunity to get me kicked out of Nigel's life. That's why she was dancing with joy and screaming to everyone that my husband wasn't the father of my child. But I didn't bat an eye at her reaction. Meanwhile, Luke and Nigel went pale and were shaking with anger. Rita thought that they were mad at me and said, "See, I told you guys that Mia is a freaking cheater. Do you see this? Nigel is not the father of her child. That is not my grandson. That is some stranger's spawn that Mia is trying to pass off as yours, Nigel. Oh, my poor boy, Nigel. I tried to warn you, but none of you listened to me." Rita, before declaring the results of the DNA test to the public here, you should have checked them in private once. Now, why would I do that, Mia? Everyone here needs to know what a cheater you are. Do you think I would be gracious enough to try and save face? You don't deserve that. You deserve to be kicked out of our lives for being such a cheater. When Rita said this, it was Nigel who cracked first. I could tell that he was exceptionally mad and ready to ruin everything. I understood his reaction because I knew he was feeling betrayed, so I didn't stop his outburst. He said, "Stop it, Mom. Just stop. Mia isn't going anywhere. She is my freaking wife who I love and trust with my own life. She is the freaking mother of my child." Nigel, what the hell are you saying? These results clearly show that the child is not yours. Mia has cheated on you and is trying to baby trap you. Here, you can check for yourself. No, I don't need to check anything. You need to recheck the results more carefully and then talk. You shouldn't have made us take a DNA test in the first place. Now, look at what you have done. Nigel, I understand that you are sad and in shock. This probably doesn't feel real to you, but it's the truth, son. Your wife is a cheater. She is making you raise another man's child. Now, this was the moment when Luke thundered and decided to speak. He was too frozen in shock and too angry to form his words. After the initial shock wore out, he was ready to raise a storm. He yelled at Rita and said, "So, Mia is making Nigel raise someone else's child? Like you tried to pass off Nigel as my son years ago?" "Luke, what are you talking about, dear? Nigel is your son. I am not like this cheap woman, Mia, who opens her legs for everyone. Why are you making such accusations? I have revealed the truth and now everyone is attacking me because of Mia." "Why don't you recheck the report carefully, Rita? That will give you a better understanding of what we are talking about. Here, these are the DNA tests done between Nigel and our son. As you all can see, it says that they are father and son." "What? Then why does this document say that they are not related? What is going on?" If you had read the report carefully, you would have found that the test was done for Nigel and Luke. And the report says that they are not related at all. So Nigel is not Luke's son at all. Rita looked at me with disbelief when I said that. She never expected this to happen to her. Her carefully guarded secret of 25 years was finally loose and she couldn't do anything to stop it from spreading. Rita had made the huge mistake of calling family members to expose my supposed secret, but it backfired badly when her own secret was revealed instead. Luke and Nigel were pissed, and Rita didn't miss that either. She knew that she was in big trouble. She kept reading the report in her hand again and again. She looked at it, and all of us were in disbelief. She said, No, this can't be true. This has to be a mistake. Nigel is Luke's child. I am sure of it. We were trying for a child when I got pregnant with Nigel. Nigel is your child, Luke." "Oh, really, Rita? So you were saying that the reports are false and you didn't cheat on me at all?" "Nigel is your son, Luke. You have to believe me. This witch, Mia, has tricked you into getting a paternity test so that she can mess up your report and get revenge against me." "This wasn't just Mia's plan, Rita. It was mine as well. Remember how I visited a doctor recently to run a couple of tests? Yeah, the test came back and it showed that I have been infertile my entire life. I never knew because I never went to see a doctor before. There is no way Nigel is my son." No, this can't be happening. This can't be true. This can't be true." "I even have a hunch who Nigel's biological father is." "Is it Fred?" "I know it's Fred, your ex, before you married me." Rita turned as white as a ghost when she heard that. Her reaction alone gave us the confirmation we needed. Nigel was super quiet and not saying much, just giving Rita some angry looks from time to time. I knew that he was crushed by the betrayal and scared for a different reason. Everyone around us felt the same sense of betrayal that Luke and Nigel felt. Everyone looked at Rita in disbelief and anger. Her own mother looked like she was about to faint. None of the people there knew about her affair or the fact that Nigel was not Luke's son. It was a disaster for Rita. She started to cry when Luke said, "You don't even have to tell me, Rita. Your reaction alone says that it was indeed Fred who you cheated on me with. Doesn't matter, actually. Any love I had for you is already gone. I have been suspecting this for a while. Now that the truth is out, I don't want to spend another moment with you. I want a divorce."
"Luke, what are you even saying? What happened was a long time ago. I cut off Fred as soon as I was pregnant with Nigel. I swear he doesn't even know about Nigel. You are Nigel's father through and through. You are the father of my son, Luke."
"That I am, Rita. I raised that man for 25 years. I don't care what the DNA tests say. Nigel is my son. He will always be my son. He might not be my miracle, but he is my blessing. I will be his father till the day I die." Luke's declaration was just what Nigel needed to dispel his fears. My poor husband was worried that he would lose the only father he knew in his life. When Luke assured him of his stance, Nigel burst into tears. I was comforting my poor husband while Luke and the others dealt with Rita. Rita said,
"You were right, Luke. You raised my son for 25 years. He is yours. We can just forget that the DNA test exists. Things can go back to normal. We can—"
"No, just no, Rita. Things will never go back to normal. Every time I look at you, I will be reminded of your betrayal. Nigel might be my son, but you are no wife of mine. A woman who cheats on her own husband cannot be my wife. I am going to divorce you. That's final."
No, 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 Luke, you can't do this. You can't do this. We have been married for 30 years. You can't leave me over this. Luke."
Rita was in pure shock and refused to understand what she was being told. The people around, including her own family, were throwing insults at Rita and agreeing with Luke's decision. Rita was still crying and desperately asking for forgiveness. She then decided to plead with Nigel and said,
"Nigel, look at what Luke is saying. He's going to leave me. Please don't make him leave me. Please make him understand, son."
"Don't you dare call me son. I don't want to call you mother any more. You are the most vile woman I have ever known in my life. You hid my parentage. You dragged my wife through dirt for nothing when you were the one hiding the nasty secret. I can't even look at you now."
"No, no, Nigel, I am your mother. That is true, I swear. I gave birth to you. I am sorry, son. I am so sorry for everything. Please don't hate me. I made a mistake. Mia, please, you are a woman. You understand what I am going through right now. Please make them understand."
Now, that is something I never expected to happen. Rita was so desperate that she started to beg me for help. She was pathetic and disgusting. She expected me to smile and ignore her sins just because I was a woman. How the hell did she think I would be on her side? I literally wanted her to burn in hell and suffer on earth. "Oh, hell no, Rita. You dug your own grave. You were the one convincing Nigel to divorce me, saying that my son isn't hers. Now that it's true for you, how did you expect I will support you? You targeted me and my innocent son for nothing. You betrayed my husband and my father-in-law for 3 decades. You don't deserve anyone's forgiveness. I agree with Luke. He needs to divorce you."
"It was a mistake, Mia. You are an honest woman, and I know you really care about your family. Your new family is about to be broken, Mia. Please don't let it happen. My new family includes me, my son, Nigel, and Luke. You are not my family, Rita. A woman who treated me so badly and betrayed her own family so badly cannot be my family. I don't want you around me or my son again. The rest is for Nigel to decide."
I don't want you anywhere near me too, Rita. Stay the hell away from me and my family. Dad is doing the right thing by divorcing you. You deserve that. And that is what you wanted, right? You wanted to prove that a son doesn't belong to his father. You wanted the father to divorce his wife. That's what's happening now, Rita. Unfortunately for you, it's happening to your family. Rita looked like she had been doused in ice water. Nigel was a warm and loving person. No one, not even me, ever saw this side of him. He was super mad, but also extremely cold. He didn't shout or yell at Rita like the others. He remained calm and talked in the coldest voice I have ever heard. At that point, everyone knew he meant what he was saying. He would literally never contact Rita again. Rita sank to the floor while not making any eye contact. All the family members were berating her and calling her horrible names. I didn't feel bad for her. Instead, it made me super happy. Luke also informed her that she needed to be out of his house soon. It was Luke's house since he inherited it from his father before his marriage. Also, we live in an at-fault state, so it would be likely that Luke would sue Rita for paternity fraud and escape from giving her alimony. Rita was now seriously in a big mess. Days passed and Luke stuck to his word. He actually went straight to a divorce lawyer the next day. He also formally started an eviction process against Rita. She threw a big tantrum complete with crying, begging, and even yelling. Luke wasn't going to go soft on her anymore. He wanted her out of his life as soon as possible. Rita also blew up my and Nigel's phones with texts and calls. It was mostly her begging and making ridiculous excuses for what she did. We read only a few and blocked her after that. Rita then showed up at our house to cry to us. She said, "Luke is kicking me out, guys. I have nowhere to go. I only have very little money that I need to get a divorce lawyer. I need a place to stay." "You can go anywhere you want, Rita. We won't be the ones housing you. Plus, we already told you that we want nothing to do with you." "I am your mom, Nigel. Why are you calling me by my name? I am your mother." Now, this pissed me off a lot. Look, I was glad that Rita was getting her just dessert, and I won against her. But this entire paternity fiasco was very hard on both Nigel and Luke. While Luke was dealing with it his way, Nigel was a mess. It hurt to see my poor husband cry and lose himself in sadness. I was having a hard time consoling and comforting him while dealing with a newborn. So when Rita wanted to act like it was all no big deal, I was pissed. I said, "I believe you have already lost that privilege, Rita. From now on, you are just a stranger to us. And Nigel is right. We won't be the ones housing you." "Mia, please don't do this to me. My grandson needs his grandma in his life." "Don't you dare call my son your grandson. Your own son refused to call you Mom. And you can't be a grandma to the child you never wanted in your life. Don't try and use my innocent child to guilt us. It won't work." "We have had enough of your bullshit, Rita. It's time for you to leave. Don't bother showing up again because I will call the cops on you. Trust me when I say you don't want more legal trouble after this." Rita did some more crying and pleading before Nigel shut the door in her face. It was satisfying to see Rita suffering, since she messed up so many lives because of her poor choices. We went back inside and waited for Rita to leave. She did leave when she realized that we wouldn't budge. After that, Rita kind of stayed away until it was time for her to leave Luke's house. She showed up with her stuff again to try and beg us or guilt us into letting her in. Nothing worked, and she left when we threatened to call the cops again. I had heard that she was staying with a friend who got her a job in her office as a warehouse worker. Now, the divorce battle was kind of ugly since Rita tried her best to get things in her favor. But like I said, we live in an at-fault state, so her stupid excuses didn't do her any good. They got divorced in 6 months and parted ways soon. She did keep harassing Luke to get her old life back, but it didn't work. She is now miserable, working in a warehouse and earning only the bare minimum. She has been cut off from the entire family, and no one has taken her side. She doesn't even get invites to attend parties and family gatherings anymore. Nigel and Luke are doing much better after joining therapy. It's good to see them still hold that strong bond despite the DNA report. We still have weekly family dinners, and Luke comes over frequently to spend time with his grandson. Overall, we have managed to swing back to our normal lives while Rita is rotting in some warehouse, lonely and miserable.